Horoscope analysis, Kendra and Kona, Cancer Rising. Rule 10 supports that when lords of Kendras, Konas, or neutral houses occupy other Kendras or Konas, their beneficial outcomes are amplified while their difficult effects are diminished. Rule 11 emphasizes that when a trick lord, 6th, 8th, or 12th lord is placed in a Kendra, Kona, or neutral house, in that order, it improves the positive aspects of its house of difficulty while reducing harmful results to a manageable level. Mars in the 10th house, Aries, own sign, conjunct Sun. Mars rules the 5th and 10th, Kona and Kendra, so its placement in its own sign in a Kendra is a textbook case of Rule 10. Sun rules the 2nd, Artha house, and gains directional strength in the 10th. Together they offer immense energy, authority, and self-earned prestige. This placement benefits leadership in defense, sports, administration, or law, any field requiring courage and structure. Their aspect on the 4th house balances roots and power, strengthening ancestral pride and domestic stability. Saturn in the 7th house, Capricorn own sign, conjunct Venus. Saturn rules the 7th and 8th houses. Venus rules the 4th and 11th. Saturn in own sign and Kendra activates Rule 10 despite its trick lordship, thanks to dual rulership and own dignity. Venus as 4th lord in Kendra elevates comfort, luxury, and partnerships. This combination ensures disciplined, long-lasting relationships, formal alliances, and public esteem. The 8th house's positive results, longevity, transformation, get strengthened per Rule 11, especially through marriage or professional collaboration. Mercury in the 9th house, Pisces, conjunct Jupiter. Mercury rules the 3rd and 12th. Jupiter rules the 6th and 9th. Jupiter, as 9th lord, is an own sign in a Kona, fulfilling Rule 10. Mercury, a trick lord, in a Kona satisfies Rule 11, especially when conjunct a Kona lord like Jupiter. This pairing enhances intuition, belief systems, and global communication. While Mercury in Pisces is debilitated, Jupiter's presence uplifts the placement, favoring roles in spiritual writing, education, or cross-cultural leadership with a philosophical bend. Moon in the 1st house, Cancer own sign, conjunct Mars. Moon is Lagna lord and sits in own sign, an ideal fulfillment of Rule 10. Mars, a Kona and Kendra lord, 5th and 10th, conjunct in Lagna, empowers the emotional core with action, confidence, and dharmic vitality. The native gains magnetism, intuitive will, and creativity. This conjunction supports entrepreneurship, performance-based fields, or protective vocations like counseling or healing arts. Their aspect on the 7th ensures dynamic relationships and passionate public life. Sun in the 2nd house, Leo own sign, conjunct Mercury. Sun rules the 2nd and sits in own sign, satisfying Rule 10. Mercury rules the 3rd and 12th. Mercury, being a trick lord, when placed in Artha house conjunct a strong sun, enhances its 12th house traits constructively, foreign connections, retreat benefits, and intellectual seclusion, per Rule 11. This pair uplifts speech, writing, family pride, and financial acumen, favorable for those in administration, banking, media, or eloquent expression-based roles. Jupiter in the 9th house, Pisces own sign, conjunct Moon. Jupiter as 9th and 6th lord in own sign, and Moon as Lagna lord, conjunct in a Kona, gives classic dharmic uplift. Rule 10 applies for both Moon's Lagna strength and Jupiter's Kona placement in own sign. The 6th house implications of Jupiter, health, service, or litigation, are positively expressed through vocational clarity, competition, or healing roles. This duo supports spiritual leadership, teaching, or devotional lifestyles. Venus in the 11th house, Taurus own sign, conjunct Saturn. Venus rules 4th and 11th. Saturn rules 7th and 8th. Rule 10 applies to Venus in own sign in an Upachaya house, enhancing wealth, networks, and comforts. Saturn as 8th lord also rules the 7th. And when placed with Venus in a strong Upachaya, Rule 11 uplifts the 8th's higher traits, research, intuition, and transformation. Excellent for social influencers, business magnates, or those in luxury, finance, or cultural leadership fields. Mars in the 5th house, Scorpio. Conjunct Mercury, Mars rules the 5th and 10th. Mercury rules 3rd and 12th. Rule 10 supports Mars in own sign and Kona. Mercury, as trick lord, fulfills Rule 11 in the Kona. This placement drives technical skill, logical creativity, and confident articulation. Careers in engineering, technology, or investment are well supported. Their aspect on the 11th promotes goal achievement through sharp planning and youthful drive. Mercury's 12th lordship expresses through foreign intellect, spiritual logic, or psychological strategy. Saturn in the 10th house, Aries, conjunct Sun. Saturn rules 7th and 8th. Sun rules 2nd. In the 10th house, both gain visibility and professional weight. Rule 11 supports Saturn's role here. Its 8th lordship expresses through karmic commitment, sustained effort, and resilience. Sun uplifts the profession via dignity and public presence. This combination supports powerful roles in bureaucracy, public reform, or technical governance, though it demands maturity and patience to blossom fully. Horoscope analysis, Kendra and Kona, Scorpio Rising. Rule 10 affirms that when lords of Kendras, 1, 4, 7, 10, Konas, 5, 9, or neutral houses are placed in other Kendras or Konas, the beneficial outcomes of their houses are empowered and their malefic expressions reduced. Rule 11 ensures that when trick lords, 6th, 8th, or 12th, occupy a Kona, Kendra, or neutral house, the constructive results of their houses of suffering, like service, transformation, or spiritual loss, are elevated, especially if the placement is dignified. Mars in the 1st house, Scorpio, own sign, conjunct Saturn. Mars rules the 1st and 6th houses. Saturn rules the 3rd and 4th. Mars, as Lagna Lord and own sign, fulfills Rule 10 fully. This empowers self-expression, strength, and charisma. Though it also rules the 6th, Treek, its own sign cancels negative impact, and Rule 11 turns Mars into a fierce and victorious competitor. Saturn, as Kendra and neutral Lord, adds maturity and controlled intensity. This pairing results in a highly disciplined, commanding, and enduring persona, excellent for leadership roles in administration, defense, or law. Sun in the 10th house, Leo, own sign, conjunct Mercury. Sun rules the 10th. Mercury rules the 8th and 11th. Rule 10 applies to Sun, Karma Bhava Lord and own sign, bringing exceptional dignity, reputation, and governance potential. Mercury as 8th Lord triggers Rule 11. Its presence in the Kendra allows transformational intellect, depth in speech, and insight-driven gain. This combination uplifts careers tied to communication, finance, or esoteric knowledge. Their aspect on the 4th stabilizes legacy, land, and educational value. Jupiter in the 2nd house, Sagittarius, own sign, conjunct Moon. Jupiter rules the 2nd and 5th, Artha and Kona. Moon rules the 9th. Jupiter in own sign in the 2nd fulfills Rule 10, enhancing speech, wealth, and lineage influence. Moon as Kona Lord conjunct in the Artha house promotes emotionally intelligent communication, maternal blessings, and value-based leadership. Together, they foster a graceful, charitable, and articulate personality, ideal for spiritual teachers, advisors, and those in cultural heritage or finance. Venus in the 7th house, Taurus, own sign, conjunct Sun. Venus rules 7th and 12th. Sun rules the 10th. Venus in own sign and Kendra fulfills Rule 10, boosting partnerships, contracts, and charm. Though Venus owns the 12th Treek, its 7th lordship and dignity override its malefic tendency. Rule 11 enhances the 12th house's positive traits, refinement, spirituality, and hidden blessings. Sun as 10th Lord further strengthens marriage and career through alignment with public image and partnerships. Excellent for those in luxury trade, diplomacy, or client-based leadership. Saturn in the 4th house, Aquarius, conjunct Mercury. Saturn rules the 3rd and 4th. Mercury rules 8th and 11th. Saturn, a Kendra Lord in own sign, satisfies Rule 10, enhancing home, education, and mental foundation with structure and karma. Mercury, as 8th Lord, fulfills Rule 11, granting deep insight, resilience, and financial strategy. Their pairing offers depth in analysis, interest in real estate, law, or research, and the capacity to manage emotional and familial structures with discipline and thought. Mars in the 6th house, Aries' own sign, conjunct Jupiter. Mars rules 1st and 6th, Lagna and Trick. Jupiter rules 2nd and 5th. Rule 11 applies to Mars. 6th Lord in own sign in a Trick house boosts health, competitive ability, and legal or athletic success. Jupiter's presence further energizes Artha and Dharma houses, supporting wise conflict resolution and victory through virtue. This conjunction is highly beneficial for service-oriented roles, competitive arenas, or legal work with a just cause. Mercury in the 11th house, Virgo, own sign, conjunct Venus. Mercury rules 8th and 11th. Venus rules 7th and 12th. Rule 11 applies to Mercury, 8th lord in own sign in an upachaya house, enhancing sharp speech, occult intelligence, and earnings through intellect. Venus, a Kendra and trick lord, supports long-term partnership-based success. Their conjunction in the 11th enhances social charm, artistic gain, and diplomatic success in organizations or financial systems. Ideal for consultants, media creators, or designers with large audience reach. Jupiter in the 5th house Pisces, conjunct Saturn. Jupiter rules 2nd and 5th. Saturn rules 3rd and 4th. Jupiter in own sign in a Kona fulfills Rule 10, bringing spiritual intelligence, dharmic legacy, and creative wisdom. Saturn adds structure, intellectual maturity, and longevity to this placement. Together, they bless the native with stable intelligence, long-term creativity, and devotion to learning or teaching. Their aspect on the 11th supports stable income through intellectual or spiritual circles. Moon in the 9th house, Cancer, own sign, conjunct Mars. Moon rules the 9th. Mars rules 1st and 6th. Moon in own sign in a Kona satisfies Rule 10, bestowing intuition, ethical clarity, and spiritual grounding. Mars, despite 6th lordship, is also Lagna lord and benefits from Rule 11. Its malefic qualities express as courage in belief systems and righteousness in competition. This pairing favors bold philosophers, spiritual warriors, or thought leaders who act on intuition and dharma. Their aspect on the 3rd makes for fearless communication, persuasive writing, and public appeal. Horoscope analysis, Kendra and Kona, Pisces Rising. Rule 10 emphasizes that when lords of Kendras, 1st, 4th, 7th, 10th, Konas, 5th, 9th, or neutral houses are placed in other Kendras or Konas, they uplift the favorable results of those houses and suppress any negative tendencies. Rule 11 adds that trick lords, 6th, 8th, or 12th, when placed in a Kendra, Kona, or neutral house, begin to enhance the positive functions of those difficult houses, such as transformation, healing, or service, even if their malefic nature is not completely removed. Jupiter in the 1st house, Pisces own sign, conjunct Venus. Jupiter rules the Lagna and 10th house, double Kendra Kona ownership, and is placed in its Malatrikona, fully activating Rule 10. Venus rules the 3rd and 8th, while functionally malefic, Rule 11 applies here. When conjoined with Jupiter in a Kendra, Venus gains refinement, softening its 8th house influence. This combination enhances grace, compassion, and moral beauty. The native becomes idealistic, creative, and emotionally intelligent, excellent for spiritual advisors, healers, or artists with a deep mission. Mars in the 2nd house, Aries own sign, conjunct Moon. Mars rules the 2nd and 9th, Artha and Kona houses, and in own sign, satisfies Rule 10 completely. Moon rules the 5th, another Kona lord. Their conjunction in the Artha house gives a powerful voice, rich emotional appeal, and charismatic influence in communication. It's highly favorable for educators, public speakers, or leaders in finance and media. Their aspect on the 8th supports research, healing, and legacy work with grace and emotional courage. Saturn in the 11th house, Capricorn own sign, conjunct Jupiter. Saturn rules the 11th and 12th. Jupiter rules the 1st and 10th. Saturn in own sign satisfies Rule 10 in the Upachaya house, uplifting social structure, financial networks, and long-term gains. Jupiter as Lagna Lord enhances the ethical and visionary aspect of these gains. Despite Saturn's 12th lordship, Rule 11 transforms isolation into deep planning and global outreach. This pairing is perfect for karmic advisors, institution builders, or visionaries with a long game. Mercury in the 4th house, Gemini own sign, conjunct Sun. Mercury rules the 4th and 7th of Kendras and is an own sign in a Kendra, fulfilling Rule 10 with excellence. Sun rules the 6th, and here, Rule 11 turns its competitive fire into disciplined mental strength and success over inner enemies. Together, they bestow academic success, sharp memory, and the ability to shine in real estate, public policy, or education administration. Their aspect on the 10th blesses career with strategy and clarity. Mars in the 9th house, Scorpio, conjunct Mercury. Mars rules 2nd and 9th. Mercury rules 4th and 7th. Both lords are functional benefics for Pisces. Mars in own sign in a Kona satisfies Rule 10, giving intense dharmic vision. Mercury adds logic, curiosity, and adaptive intelligence. Their aspect on the 3rd blesses communication, writing, and public speaking. This combination suits legal strategists, motivational speakers, or spiritual counselors with fierce clarity. Sun in the 6th house, Leo own sign, conjunct Venus. Sun rules the 6th. Venus rules 3rd and 8th. Sun in own sign and trick house satisfies Rule 11, refining health, service, and the capacity to overcome enemies. Venus, though a natural benefic, is a functional malefic here. But in Upachaya and with the Sun, Rule 11 allows transformation of sensuality and hidden desires into service and compassion. Best for medical professionals, service leaders, or reformers who shine through conflict resolution. Moon in the 5th house, Cancer, own sign, conjunct Jupiter. Moon rules the 5th, and Jupiter rules the 1st and 10th. This is one of the strongest Rule 10 combinations, double Kona and Kendra lords in a Kona house, both in own signs. This pairing grants intuitive brilliance, nurturing intellect, and exceptional leadership rooted in wisdom. Ideal for teachers, spiritual guides, and creatives whose work impacts the collective with emotional depth and moral direction. Saturn in the 12th house, Aquarius, own sign, conjunct Mercury. Saturn rules 11th and 12th. Mercury rules 4th and 7th. Saturn in own sign and trick house satisfies Rule 11, enhancing mastery over isolation, foreign work, and subconscious structures. Mercury adds critical thinking and balance in partnerships. This conjunction suits those working in hospitals, international organizations, or secretarial public strategy roles where privacy, planning, and intellect are key. Jupiter in the 10th house, Sagittarius own sign, conjunct Sun. Jupiter rules Lagna and 10th. Sun rules the 6th. Jupiter in own sign in Karma Bhava fulfills Rule 10, ensuring high ethical success, visibility, and public recognition. Sun in a Kendra satisfies Rule 11, turning service, litigation, and competition into sources of prestige. Their conjunction blesses the native with wisdom-driven leadership, courage under pressure, and the ability to rise through integrity, ideal for judges, executives, or religious political heads.